Hello, everybody. I'm Pontius, and welcome back to Unexpected Awesome. Antoine Fuqua is probably one of the few ascendant directors of the last 10 to 15 years. His body of work has a massive range, going from sincere crime dramas, political and military thrillers, all the way to modern, popular musical biopics that are now earning him not just major box office success, but also potential Academy prestige. But before any of that, he was a director of music videos. Until one day, none other than the action movie legend John Woo decided to give him a chance. The Replacement Killers follows a remorseful assassin as he attempts to escape Los Angeles, go back to China to protect his family from a vengeful triad boss who hired him to assassinate the son of the detective who cornered and ventilated his own son in a drug sting gone bad. Across this ballistic odyssey, working alongside the quick-witted, street-smart lady documents forger whom he needs to help fake his passport, and one gunfight at a time, he faces not only his replacements and also reprisals from the crime boss he crossed after saving the detective's son from a second assassination attempt by his own merciless replacements, elects to hunt down the crime boss and end both murder conspiracies before they can come to fruition, and he can leave America to go back home. Replacement Killers, if I had to describe anything, is ultimately a formulaic film. Its story, while solidly constructed, with every major plot beat having a logical setup to their stylistic and narrative payoff, it ultimately was criticized in 1998 and could easily be criticized now for being fundamentally just a greatest hits of John Woo's and Chow Yun-fat's earlier, more prominent work out of Hong Kong. But what it lacks for originality, it more than makes up for in style and quality. The actual direction of the film, minus a few incredibly hilarious continuity errors, is probably one of the most tightly directed films I've ever seen, with not a single second or frame of the film wasted on superfluous narrative dead ends. The story has a bombastic yet intimate scope, with a strong focus on creating introspective interpersonal stakes for the actions, as well as vicious and bloody outcomes for those action set pieces themselves. And what direction it is. While Wu himself was merely a producer on this film, his advice for the second unit work and his inputs to the debut director of the film, Antoine Fuqua, clearly shine through, with slow-mo dual-wielding, glass-shattering gunfights defining all three acts of the film. But while the action itself is easily the primary reason one would even look into the Replacement Killers, it's funnily enough character development scenes and the craft behind them that serve as the strongest appeals for the film. The empathy, introspection, and personal reflections of the main character, John Lee, not just on the regrets of his past involvements with the main antagonist, but also just the doubts of his own personal nature, blend beautifully with the street-smart yet empathetic presence of what should have been the biggest breakout role for Mira Sorvino's career into the main limelight. With her smoky-voiced and back-talking street hustler of Meg Coburn, the two form a solidly dynamic duo of both tactical and street smarts, and as they grow closer throughout the film, their dynamic going from that of an unlucky hostage and a desperate captor, they eventually morph into both allies, and then by the end of the film, close friends, of whom the situation's biggest tragedy is that now it separates them as they both part their separate ways. The brilliance of the acting isn't just confined to the two leads, but every single member of the cast themselves manages to shine in the film as well. In a pre-MCU, Michael Rooker serves as the point of view dark horse of the story, all the while every background character, from the ice-cold Til Schweiger and Danny Trejo, the sardonic Jurgen Prochnow, all the way to the almost outright cartoonish Clifton Gonzalez, they all bring their A game, bringing this standard yet solid work to life. So if you're on the lookout for a stylish and slick action thriller with genuine heart, then feel free to saunter on over to the smoky alleys of Chinatown in Antoine Fuqua's debut, The Replacement Killers.